What's up guys, Edmund here of Realistic Entertainment, and today I want to talk about the Nintendo Switch, the EULA, and all this other things that has been talking about. The situation is getting pretty ridiculous, so let's get into it. So I want to start by talking about the EULA, which is the End User License Agreement with Nintendo. And me personally, whenever I get a device, I normally don't read it. I just breeze past it, and because I'm more interested in playing the games and seeing how well the console runs and things like that. So I never really read it. I just assume that it may be talking about like you promise not to make your console out a weapon of mass destruction. I don't know. I don't read that, but I decided to talk with a few colleagues about it because it was brought up in a lot of conversations about the things that Nintendo is doing, which is like banning the device and all other sorts of things that I have never heard of a company doing based off some of the things that you do. Now, me personally, I just think that's a little bit overkill. And the reason why I think it's overkill is because if a person spent like $450, $500 for a console, I feel like that's your hardware. You are now the owner of it. No one should have control over it. And if someone has that kind of control over it, you really don't own it, if you ask me. And I feel like if Nintendo does ban a console, they need to compensate the person or whoever has paid for the device, because to me that's a bit unfair. I understand like you're trying to stop people from hacking device and things like that, but I feel like that should have been done on the back end. You should have had things in place in order for no one to be able to hack it. Make it impossible to hack, or however you can do it, because whenever you have a device, it's going to get hacked. I mean, we already know people are going to be curious, and I'm not saying that it's going to be hacked to a point where you just can pirate it. Although some people may, pirate their device to where they can play all sorts of games and stuff on it illegally. But I'm just saying some people just maybe want to hack it in order to see what all they can do and maybe push it to its limits. Everybody is not the same. And I know that, they state like as far as like modification and things like that, you won't be able to pretty much modify the device outside of whatever Nintendo allows you to do. And I just feel like no company should have that much control. If I have my PlayStation 5 and I decide that, hey, I want to run Windows 11 alongside of my PlayStation OS or whatever, that's my choice. I paid for the device. It should be mine. And I was like making the analogy, like if I go to a store, right, and I decided that I want to buy an apple or something like that, right, and I scan the apple, I pay for it, and I eat it, or I take a bite out of it right in the actual store, and now all of a sudden I'm banned and I can't go back to that store, and my apple kind of ripens on the spot. So now I pay for the apple, I can't eat it, and now I can't go back to the store unless I just kind of start over or whatever. I buy a new apple or something like that. It's kind of seems like what the Nintendo is doing. You don't have control over your own product that you purchase. And like, to me, there has to be something that's an illegal practice. I wouldn't think that's legal that Nintendo could do that. But in order to play the game, you have to, check the box for the acceptance of the EULA, which, like I say, I don't agree with that. And then I hear about companies regarding the key card situation, and it just seems like that's getting pretty messy. And Nintendo doesn't really have, in my opinion, from what I can see, they don't have a real way to resolve the issues. Like, I don't know how this is gonna go, but by hearing other people talk about the key card situation and how some developers may not even put their games on the actual console because of that, I've heard some things that Nintendo CEO had to say about it. But that's what he said was still not a solution. He just basically gave them a breakdown of what the key card is. That's not a solution. That's not gonna resolve the issue. And I'm pretty sure that may, in my opinion, if I was an investor of Nintendo, that would not have satisfied me as far as like getting a good answer behind it. So these are my thoughts on it. I just think it's like Nintendo should have, before they launched the console, There's all sorts of things you could have done to make sure that your console is protected, make sure the property is protected. And what do I mean by that? Like, you could have just made it so the the MIG switch cartridge wouldn't even work, or if people tried to pirate it, it just wouldn't be able to work. I mean, there's so many things they could have done in order to not ban your device, you know, because I feel for people who have had their device banned, because some of the reasons behind Nintendo banning some of those devices has been some of the most egregious reasons. And me personally, if this doesn't change, and if the EULA is still the same by the time the Nintendo Switch 3, I guess, rolls out, I'm probably not going to pick it up, because, you know, there's not a lot of games on the system. And then on top of that, you're banning consoles just from what I've heard, the most craziest things. So I just feel like if this keeps getting worse and not better, then this is going to be a huge problem for Nintendo, and with the key card situations and with the EULA. If this goes on like this, it's just going to be a big mess. I don't really see a Nintendo bouncing back from this unless they come up with something that's really, really good that'll satisfy investors, and not only that, but consumers as well. But let me know what you guys think about this. Have you guys heard about the keycard situations? I don't have a problem with the keycard situation. There have been some people that I know personally have made a fuss about it. I don't personally have a problem with it. I would never use a keycard. I'll probably just download it digitally. But if things keep going the way that they're going, and like I say, in my opinion, you pretty much don't even own your console. If Nintendo has that much power over the console to where they can just ban it, you don't own your console. I understand banning people's online accounts. I understand banning people's, you know, if they do something within a game and you ban them from that game. I get that, but other things, in my opinion, could have been implemented, so Nintendo would have to go this route to banning consoles. They shouldn't. In my opinion, I think it has to be something illegal, if you ask me, because you paid your money. It's yours. Banning you from, you know, just banning the console, period, that's just a bit overkill. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. My name is Edwin of Our Listing Entertainment. Until the next video, guys, talk to you soon.